like to at least understand what everyone's view is on the topic on fair representation and inclusion in the workplace.
It's important to locate the question of inclusion and diversity and to pose that as an entitlement question, as a rights question, and not simply as a question of charity. And I think it's important that particularly within the Indian context and within the Indian subcontinent at large, it's important that we're able to locate the question of diversity and inclusion within the fabric of historical discrimination that we are dealing with, right? So we are looking at a social context where the genesis of power is caste. And I think any understanding of inclusion and diversity has to be rooted within that, and has to be, I mean, we have a constitution that specifically, recognizes caste-based discrimination and prohibits it, and not just recognizes it, also makes provisions for, addressing the question of caste-based discrimination through affirmative action. And therefore, I think it's important for us to not historicize or understand the question of diversity within this sort of constitutional fabric of rights that we are dealt with, right? Because we are a constitutional democracy, and I think particularly in the corporate sector, I think it's important now for this sort of understanding of rights to emerge, because so far I think we're operating with a very welfare charity driven sort of model where there are companies who may be invested in the question of diversity more than others, but at the end of the day it's left up to the kindness of corporate entities and individuals that run those entities, right? But I think it's important to now shift that understanding to say, well, this is a right that people have, right, by virtue of not just being citizens of this country, but also inalienable rights as human beings. And therefore, it is important to recognize those rights, and for those rights to be woven into the creation of a space, and for creation of a workspace, and for our understanding of workspace and rights of people who are working within an organization to be informed by this understanding of the fact that these are individuals that are located in various social contexts. I mean, at this point, I think the conversation has moved, to the question of hiring, right? To say that we need to ensure diversity in hiring. But I think we're still a far cry away from saying that we need to create an enabling and a safe workplace for people who belong to diverse contexts. And I think during the course of this discussion, I hope that we're able to reflect on this a little bit, and we're able to look at the question of a workplace, particularly within the corporate setup, in terms of how the rights of various individuals who are accessing this space can be safeguarded.